Hello and welcome to the Marvel Alliance podcast, where we cover anything and everything to do with the Marvel Universe. From comics, TV, and the movies, we will go from Earth 616 to the Mojoverse to the TVA in order to bring the Marvel Universe right to you. I'm the nerd with the mouth, David.
And I'm Travis.
Alliance Assemble.
Assemble.
Volume 288. We actually have something to talk about, even if it's, an evergreen topic and some small news, but we actually have something to talk about this week. So I'm excited. But before we get into that, Mr. Hines, thank you for joining us today in Chris's absence. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. The time zone that I'm in is a little rough at the moment, but besides that, things are okay. I'm in training this week, but tomorrow's supposed to be a very early day, so thankfully I might be able to get an hour or two sleep later tomorrow to prepare for the rest of the day. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. This is the only day this week where I have been or will be getting home before the sun sets. So I am thankful for that. I've been getting home late every day, and tomorrow I'm be home late again. It's been a busy week, but I'm glad today was a good day to get home early. Got in a quick nap before knocking this out, and I am ready to go.
I'm excited. We don't have a whole lot of news to talk about, but the topic you gave me, I can't wait to talk about our list.
Yeah, I am too. So before we get to that, let's go ahead and get the show plugs out of the way. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network with 6 shows covering the wide range of geek and nerddom. To see the full schedule, check out the show notes below and subscribe to the Geek Ultimate Alliance on Twitter or X, however you want to call it, at GUAPod Network so you know when all the shows drop. We also have a Patreon, so if you'd like to throw a few shekels our way, we've got 2 tiers. We've got our $1 tier, which is our tip jar, as a way to say that you think we're doing a good job. Then our $5 tier for ad-free episodes, early access, and Patreon-exclusive shows. We have, from Marvel, we have the We Can Watch This All Day, the Marvel Alliance MCU rewatch, including all 24 movies from the Infinity Saga. We have Tales from the House of X, rewatching the Fox movie lineup. We got the Baxter broadcast, which was our Fantastic Four retro film review. You guys just had a episode going over the new Lanterns trailer. We've got so many other things, Walk the Multiverse going on there. So we want to thank our patrons. We can't do this without your support. If you want to join us on Patreon, go to www.patreon.com/GUA network. And if you can't join us, but you want to rate and review on your podcast feeds with Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, give us a good rating. It really helps get the show out there. Last but not least, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Panel Bound Comics. Panelbound Comics is the official sponsor of Marvel Alliance. They sell graphic novels, omnibus, collected editions at a great discounts on everything in stock and pre-orders. You can earn rewards on every purchase that will earn you discounts that you can use on your next order. They ship to the U.S. and internationally in secure packaging to ensure your books arrive undamaged. Go to panelboundcomics.com, use the promo code MarvelGUA to get $2 off on every order, or MGUA SIT to get 5% off when you order 4 more books together. Use our referral link listed in the show notes below so that they know that you're a Marvel listener, and we will have a link to the store in the show description. They've got some excellent stuff out right now. Just looking at their website, they've got Daredevil Omnibus Volume 4 on sale, Way of X Omnibus, X-Men Legacy, Spider-Man by Chip Zdarsky. Some people love it, some people hate it. There's a lot of either one way or another with that. They just have so many great books. So go ahead and hit up our friends at Panelbound Comics. All right. And with that out of the way, let's get into our topic tonight, which is our top 10 Marvel TV shows. Now, this is not just limited to the MCU. There's a plethora of Marvel TV shows throughout, and we're just going to give our list, kind of cross reference, see what things that we have the same, what's different, and go from there. So, Mr. Hines, as our guest, I will let you start off if you have any honorable mentions. You're muted, sir.
I have four honorable mentions, David. I was going to say, like, were we going to leave this for just before the end or now, which is good. I have Miss Marvel, Legion, X Men Evolution, and What If as my
Oh,
honorable mentions.
nice. I have three honorable mentions. I have What If as well, Luke Cage, and
Mm,
Ultimate Spider-Man.
that first season of Luke Cage was really good. Like I
Yes,
had a
I
hard time balancing some of this stuff. If like they had one good season, one bad. Like Jessica Jones didn't make the list, but the first season of that was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Luke Cage could have just stuck that landing just a little bit, I think it would be higher on my list. But yeah. All right, sir.
So
So go ahead with your number
num
10.
now, I want to say too that this can go. This show could fall off my top 10 depending on how this next season goes because it's only here right now. But it's Daredevil Born Again, and there's a distinction for me. I don't account it as one full property, and you'll see that later on down the line. So Daredevil Born Again, I really enjoyed them jumping back into it. I had some qualms about some of the stuff that we saw, but for the most part, I really enjoyed seeing Daredevil back. Something I didn't think was going to happen. So that alone made me happy. And just him and Kingpin, just getting more scenes with those two people, those two characters, and the actors that play them, yeah, top notch. So that got to make my list.
Yeah, I'm excited. We got just under 2 weeks until season two returns in all of its glory and greatness. And I'm hoping that they can ride that momentum. They had a couple of stumbles with the first season of Born Again, but I think that for the stumbles that they made, the stuff with Muse and other things, I think that they did amazing job bringing back Frank Castle and some of the other aspects of it. The way that the camera would change with Matt's vision or listening and honing skills changing, like that was super cool. So yeah, that was definitely a good one.
Yes, and people complain about it like we're not watching Iron Fist or anything here. Like let's relax. We don't have to sit through the Meacham's boardrooms and stuff for like God knows how long. Like that's why when people complain, it's like remember how bad it was at one point. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. My number 10, and I'm going to start off in the animated realm, is the Spectacular Spider Man.
Ooh, I give you credit for that, and I may discuss some of that later.
Yeah, I was such a fan of this show, and I am sad that it only got 2 seasons. I feel like there could have been so much more with it, but like with most Spider-Man animated shows, like they don't really get to live out their story very well. But man, the animation was fun. It felt like it had a lot of tones that felt true to the Spider-Man lore and really just based off of the old school stuff with Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. and just really diving into like that good age of Amazing Spider-Man comics.
Oh, I love it. It's again, I can't wait to talk about it a little bit down the line.
Yeah. So, all right. This is number 9 for you.
Number 9 for me is The Defenders. This was something that I could not wait for when it was like leading up to this, and I still think that their hallway fight is one of the better action scenes that we've gotten. Uh, and yeah, I think that all the characters mesh well. Like when Matt finally puts on the costume and interrogates that guy, it's all super cool. I just loved it. I thought it was excellent, and I didn't have as much issues with it as most people. I thought it was great. It was not Daredevil, but still, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. It That's another one of those shows where people either really love it or really hate it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love Sigourney Weaver in that show. Like I liked a lot. In my mind, that is the best version of Iron Fist that we had in there. He was a lot less whiny than normal. He still had
Yeah,
his moments, but the
I
for
think
them
it's
working together as a team was great.
David. I think he shined the best when he shined whenever he was around Luke Cage. Like I think
Yes.
that those two actors and that really worked well. I wish we would have got a hero more of a heroes for hire, but even seeing them together in their own shows, I thought that was great too.
Yeah, I it was is good episode, a great ending to the series, like, and it led very well into continuing everything with that. When the moments between Matt and Jessica, like them arguing over him wearing a scarf on his head, and she's like, "You look ridiculous," and he goes, "Well, it's your scarf." Like those moments between those two characters, like I really liked it.
And that's why she's coming back. Like that's definitely why. So
Yeah. All right. My number nine is again staying animated. Wolverine and the X Men.
I thought about putting that one on there too. I was going to put it in my honorable mentions, but I put X Men Evolution there instead.
Yeah, X Men Evolutions is a great one, but Wolverine and the X Men, like it had an entirely different tone and setup to it. You start off with this big explosion. Charles Xavier's missing. Wolverine's, like leading this the way that in a lot of different things we've had the X-Men listed as a whole, but a lot of people just gravitated towards Wolverine. And this one, it's like, all right, here we are. We're giving you a Wolverine project with the X-Men involved. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. I love the animation style of it. Stephen Bloom as the voice of Wolverine is always amazing. So yeah, that is sitting right now at my number nine.
And much like your previous one, uh, died too soon. Like was ended far too soon. Like still had
Yeah.
so much meat on that bone for storytelling. It was so sad. So my number 8 is I'm going to stay in the world of animation, and it's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I absolutely adored the series. I adored how it was animated, the way it looked, the whole story. I thought was great. How it came back to Spider-Man basically making his own origin story. I just thought that was pretty fun, and just how he talked to Doctor Strange, but after. But everything about the way they went with Lonnie, like every character was treated really good, and it was a really enjoyable show. And I can't wait for the next season.
Yeah. Um, I love that show. I have rewatched it once fully already. I'm looking forward to where they go next. I have a feeling with where I think they're going to go that it will move up on my list very quickly and very highly if they continue this trajectory for season two.
Agreed, agreed.
Right. Number eight for me is Jessica Jones. That there is definitely some points of this show that falter, but as a whole, it is just amazing. And I mean, just you can watch season one, especially be hooked, and going back, that helps cover up some of the falters of the rest of the season. I think my biggest gripe about Jessica Jones was her sister and her sister's character arc that just increasingly annoyed me, but I could get over that because all the other moments were super cool. Jessica really got a good time to shine. Her smartassness, her wittiness, everything about this character was amazing. So
I would listen to anyone's argument that this was the season one was the best season of Marvel television. Like I listen to any arguments anyone might have. I don't know if I'd agree, but there's definitely a case to be made for that first season. I absolutely like it was amazing, especially the villain.
yeah, David Tennant did an amazing job in this show, and yeah, I loved her character. I love the arcs that they took her on. Just everything about it, like her smart assedness. Just she was, and she had that strong powerfulness to her with everything that was going on. The stuff with in subsequent seasons with her mom and everything like that. Finding out more about her past and where she came from. It was good stuff. And for that to be Daredevil came out very strong with their thing, but then to pivot to go to Jessica Jones, who is a much less known character in the mainstream community, and then have her just knock it out the park like that was really good.
And yeah, she really got big. Like she really like that first season. Like she was like I remember that exploding, and people loved that. Uh, my number. What are we doing? Number 6 is
Seven.
7. Yes, 7.
Yep.
10,
Yep.
9, 8. 7 is Loki. So people might be shocked at how low Loki is on my list, but uh, if you didn't factor in animation, this would be the third highest live action show that I have here. So uh, bit of hint of what's coming. But I really enjoy this. The two seasons are really good, both of them. Like it's not that much of a fall off. And the connection, I did not know I would love the connection between Loki and Mosby as much as sorry Morbius as much Mobius,
Yeah.
sorry, as much as I did. Like I absolutely like I'm here for that whole, and I'm sad that we might not ever see them together again.
Yeah. Um, I will go ahead and just say it right now. That's actually number 7 on my list as well. So
Ooh,
we are right in line with that. Like again, I love that Tom Hiddleston returning, having this new but not new version of Loki. Like his interactions with Sylvie first, the tension like leading up through season 1, and then coming back for season 2. I really like the stuff that they did. It's unfortunate on multiple levels what happened with Jonathan Majors, because I feel like from an actor and TV show perspective, they had amazing chemistry. They were really going somewhere. The art itself was good art. Now,
yeah,
the man and everything outside of that, you got to pay your penance for the actions that you take in life. Completely understandable, and I stand by Marvel and Disney 100% with that. But for the art itself, those gentlemen had great chemistry. The show was really going somewhere, and I love the way that this series ended, because it could take Loki, the character, as a whole and put him back in the MCU with real stakes to be brought back in for something else.
I think he's been brought back in to be sacrificed in one of these movies to screw everything up, but we'll see about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, again, we both are right. It's such a good show. The next
yeah.
one for me is Spider-Man the animated series. That had to go on there. It was my first basic introduction to Marvel, and not only just like Marvel Spider-Man, but I got the whole shebang from that. Like you got to see the X-Men, you got to see. I think I watched Spider-Man first and then X-Men. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I watched one or two X-Men episodes, but not like watching it weekly. I watched Spider-Man weekly, and yeah, it was. I still it's the voice I hear when I read the comics. Still, to me, to this day, is that Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And yeah, I know when you watch it back now, some of the stuff's a little silly with the like blasters and guns, but it still is not too bad. It doesn't, especially that final season, the story arcs that they went off on, and like doing basically they did Into the Spider Verse before Into the Spider Verse, which again I love it. And yeah, it introduced me to so many of new ideas, like and different ideas in Marvel that I had no idea about as a young kid. So yeah, it definitely still holds nostalgia is strong in this pick, but yes, I still love it.
Yeah. All right, listeners, I want to say this. 8 hours ago, I got a message that said, I don't think there will be much overlap.
Yeah,
I say that to say my next pick is
and we
also Spider-Man the animated series.
and we did not compare this beforehand. I had no idea what is on his list. That's
That
hilarious.
that show made my childhood. I collected the figures. That's how like I learned about so many things. You had the Clone Saga, you had the stuff with Ben Riley. Yeah, there were some moments that
Or a little
were a little
rough.
bit out of left field, and there were some moments that were a little bit cheesy. The stuff with Hydra, Mary Jane, and things like that. So that there were some moments, but as a kid watching this growing up, it was everything that I wanted at the time. I was 8 years old when this show started for me. So I was all in. That this was how I spent my time, just watching this. And then that theme song was just
Oh my god.
incredible, and still is today. So
Let's also not forget how amazing the alien costume three-parter was in that first season. Like that, I was like, "What is like a black Spider-Man? Like what? Like he's bigger and more badass than the original Spider. This is awesome!" Like and how he terrorized him. Oh my god! Like what a conclusion for that first season. It was awesome. Like yeah, I can't believe you picked that. That's hilarious.
yeah,
I can't believe you
at,
say number too.
as a kid who at the time was only sporadically being able to get my hands on comics and things like that at the time. Like without this show, I would not have known of the Hobgoblin. I would not have known of Alistair Smythe, all these different things. I mean, you had Kingpin looking big and brutish, and that is the tone for which like all Kingpins after that were judged. Like,
Yeah,
that look right there. You had the only good version of Michael Morbius.
who had to have the suckers in his hands, but because
Yes.
that's the stuff. Now that wouldn't happen if this was made nowadays, because you wouldn't have to, like, you could kind of show it. Well, you wouldn't need to show it, but you wouldn't have to say that he didn't drink blood. So
Yeah.
yeah, but again, it stands the test of time, in my opinion.
And the amount of crossovers that this show had, the amount of other stars that got pulled into it, was
This is the
just
first
great.
shared universe. It's
Yeah.
Marvel's animated universe, and yeah, I agree.
So that definitely ranks it up there. It's a nostalgia pick for sure, but it is a good pick because I mean that show is really just really amazing.
Yes, but it pains me to say my number five. I watched it later. I didn't think it would be better, but when I watched it, I was thoroughly impressed. Is Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's easily the best Avengers take, in my opinion, and there isn't a wasted episode. The fact that they're all separate and bring them together, kind of like the movie did, and yeah, there's not a bad voice actor. It again really enjoyed it, and it ended too soon. Another one of those that it's just like Spectacular Spider-Man died at the altar of the Disney acquisition of the Marvel stuff, and
Yeah.
Sony lost the rights to live action, just like Spectacular Spider-Man, and they went with Avengers Assembled, which is somewhat enjoyable, but just a very big downgrade from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah. I am screenshotting and sending you something on Twitter just for proof of its sake. Don't open it now. But yeah, that is actually next on my list as well. So that's three in a row where we have
Oh my
been
god.
absolutely in sync. And I am sending you a timestamp proof that is exactly where I
My
was.
I just said the same thing. I just did the same thing to you.
So yeah, that
And
I
mine's two
like
hours ago, my timestamp. So yeah.
I like that show. Like it was so great. I liked both Avengers shows that were put out, but this one just it resonated with me a lot more. Um, I love the design of the costumes. It gave it that real comic book feel, especially Thor. Like I love Thor, and he had the cape and the broad shoulders coming through.
Best iteration of Hulk ever. Like best version of Hulk I've seen in any live action or animation is the best.
Yes. So like I was a huge fan of that. A good showing by like the way that they did Clint Barton and everyone else. And if I remember correctly, like this predates the f- the full on Avengers. So
Yeah.
I said I very much enjoyed it. I enjoyed their battles with Loki and Enchantress and everything else, and coming out of that, and then we had Doctor Doom, we had Red Skull, and all these other aspects of stuff that they had things that they haven't got to do on the big screen, but they really got to have those centralized stories. It's a shame that it didn't last much longer, but we got 52 episodes, I think, of it. So, if you got time, go ahead and rewatch it. It's a great show.
Yeah. Again, it it makes me hard it makes harder for me to enjoy Avengers Assembled, knowing that they just scrapped this show to make that show more kid friendly show, instead of doing the
Yeah.
same thing that X-Men the animated series and stuff did for us when we were younger, which was multiple episode story arcs and trying to make it like the storytelling a bit higher up for you.
Yep.
Okay, so what are we on now? We're getting through this list. Okay. So we're not sharing. Okay, so for me, the next one is X-Men the animated series slash X-Men '97. I'm combining them because you have a continuation, and it's not like Daredevil. Like it's not too distinctly different. Like the characters still do the same things. Everything still applies. There's no like some of this stuff. Like we talk about some of this we don't. So yeah, I loved X-Men '97. I'm shocked at how good it was. Pleasantly surprised, as listeners can remember on some of the episodes that I joined you guys to talk about this stuff with Marvel Alliance. And yeah, it. I can't wait for this next season. It's a lot of stuff that could happen, and one of my factor fictions uh, pertains to that.
Yeah. Um, X-Men 97 is on my list, but it's a little bit higher up. But yeah, no, it's X-Men and X-Men 97 together. It's just it is an incredible show. I remember having the Quinjet as a toy and collecting them, and like again, this was all I was into. You had the old school, the suits that just looked so comic accurate, and all these various storylines. Like they went everywhere with their storylines. If you go back and watch it now, especially if you watch the original X-Men series, it is fun because you can kind of see some of the lapses in animation where they made some shortcuts. So you will see a still frame and then like a cutout of a mouth moving and things like that. But I mean, it's still a fun show to watch to this day. Made me really fall in love with a lot of characters even more and want to get more involved with the X-Men from just seeing these. I remember vividly still the first time Morph came back, and it was just like, oh man,
Yeah,
where are we going from here? So
the Phoenix Saga done the best in that so far. Uh, yeah, it's again, it stands the test of time. Those two shows, along with Batman the animated series, it's just they're just a little higher level for some of the stuff.
yeah. Um, Number four for me is WandaVision. Um, I remember watching this and just being blown away each week by what they were doing. It was new, it was fresh, it was something that we hadn't seen from Marvel, but it in the grand scheme of things, it made sense with that character and where they were going. Like you had the funny moments, you had the fourth wall breaking moments. I mean, I'll even excuse the whole Ralph Boner thing, but outside
Oh,
of that, like it was great. But then you have Catherine Hahn, who was just amazing in this show for someone that was started out the first couple episodes of, oh, this is the funny sidekick neighbor, to evolving to Agatha, and the climactic battle is just like, man, this is so good. And then the things that show dealt with, the moments between Vision and Wanda, the grief everlasting speech, like all these things, just it was a great show. And Marvel, they took a risk with how they were doing this, but I think that risk definitely paid off.
oh, I agree. I didn't. It didn't make my top 10 list. Uh, but I didn't enjoy all of it, but I did enjoy some of it. But I could recognize how well done it was and how unique it was for Marvel and the MCU. So yeah, you got to give it its flowers for sure.
Yeah.
My number three is The Punisher. And I don't know if I need to say a whole lot more about The Punisher because it's that great. John Bernthal really nailed this iteration of the character. And yeah, I can't wait to see what we get going forward with that character with the special feature and seeing him show up in Brand New Day, which trailer leaks, half the trailer leaks are out now. Watch out on the internet, people. So,
Yeah.
not the full trailer, just half of it.
Yeah. Punisher's my number three as well. Like that's another one that we are definitely aligned on. I was always a fan of Thomas Jane's Punisher, the
Same,
movie
same.
with John Travolta, and for the longest time I was like, man, that really embodied the Punisher. And then this came along, and everything you can tell John Bernthal, like you hear him in interviews, but you can just tell by his performance, like he cares about this character. He cared about making it right. He cared about making it layered. So it's not just the crazy killer man with, the guns and the van and everything else. Like he added a whole lot of depth to this character from him playing off of Daredevil and their show to then having his own, and it just an amazing set pieces with the shootout scenes and the actions. Him when he jumps out the van, takes off the jacket, and he yells Russo at season 2 when they're robbing the bank. Like all these great moments, you had these other threats and storylines going with Agent Mondani and other things like that. Like it was just a really, really good show.
And one of the major lessons I learned was never not make Frank a sandwich. If there's stuff there to make a sandwich, he's going to want a sandwich. That was one of the times I just laughed. It was out of nowhere. It was, oh, and I just love two of those guys interacting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really love that show too. So good choice for 3. My number 2 is going to be different because you've already used it, and it's easily the best Marvel animated thing that's existed. And it is. I never thought I'd say it until I watched this a few years ago for the first time through a full way through. Spectacular Spider-Man. It's outstanding. They were great in all of the storylines. This is basically their first their training grounds before they went to Young Justice. I think the same people who did this did Young Justice, so
Yep.
that one was great as well. And I just say that because I wish we could have seen how more of these storylines would have played out going forward. And the fact that this was another one of the awesome animated shows that was just tossed to the side when Disney acquired Marvel. It just makes me sad sometimes that we got another version. Although my son loves Spider-Man and his amazing friends, or Spotty and his friends, so I guess Disney's doing something right. But yeah, I love the show. It was great.
Yeah. I said, like I said earlier, it's such a great show. Wish we would have had more of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, all awesome show. My number 2, we've already talked about it, is X-Men the animated series. Again, just building off of the shared universe that was started within Spider-Man the animated series. You had some great. Absolutely love the crossover episode, Old Soldiers, with Wolverine and Captain America.
Oh yeah, I wish the animation style was a bit better. I think that was one of the different animation houses that they used. But again, I love that story.
Yeah, just telling, some of the old things with that. So many other great stories in here, and how they took stuff and from the comic books and translated it through. You had the Jim Lee art style, like you
It's
had
the
the
first time it was ever done
the
because
old
Batman
school.
the animated series didn't do it. They just did one episodes. Like nobody did 4 episode parts or 5 episode parts or 3. They were afraid that kids would lose interest. You wouldn't keep their concentration. So, like you said, like this is a crazy show in terms of land breaking. Like no other animated show tried this before.
Yeah, like again, the Phoenix saga lasted for the majority of season 3. Like for a show to go, this is what we're gonna stick to. This is what we're gonna do. This is my first introduction to Omega Red, and I was like absolutely obsessed with that character. Afterwards, I remember
Mm-hmm.
like always
Mm-hmm.
wanting to get his toys and stuff like that. So, their trip to the Savage Land and seeing these parts of the X-Men, it was just, like I said, it was a great show. So from the moment it started, when we meet a young Jubilee getting saved by the X-Men and seeing the sacrifice of what's going on there, to everything else, Inner Magneto, and just all these moments where I was like, yeah, this is good stuff.
Shout out to Lynette the Clown from Big Comfy Couch who voiced Jubilee.
So
My number 1, we knew we would get here. It's Daredevil brackets Netflix, because there is a distinction. I'm sorry, but the first season of Daredevil Born Again was not as good as some of the seasons of Daredevil on Netflix. Season 2, I might be able to listen to an argument, but because that was just as much Defenders set up as anything else. But I love the first season of Daredevil. It changed the game for television, for comic book television. The hallway fight scenes, the action, the one shots, and then you get into season 2 with the Punisher. Him and Punisher scene might be one of the better comic book scenes in all of television. When they're up on the roof and having that whole debate and that whole season. Part of that with the Punisher is great. The whole hand stuff is a little bit like wacky at a certain point, but the third season's great too. So yeah, this was this was groundbreaking when it came out, and it didn't. It for all 3 seasons, I put it up against any other Marvel uh, live action property.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I mean, I tell people all the time who have not watched it or who think about watching, I'm like, start watching it, get through episode 4. By the end of episode 4, you're going to decide whether you want to stick with it or not. Because I remember when I first watched it and you get to that car door scene with Wilson Fisk, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
oh, I'm like, oh, this is something else. And so all of episode 1 or all of season 1 was good. The playoff of Matt and Foggy and everything else, those were awesome. The build up to Daredevil being in the costume, it felt earned. Like you got these moments that worked up to that costume felt earned. Season 2 is just, it's amazing. You have the introduction of the Punisher. You have all these moments where they're in there. They're back and forth about what's right and what's wrong and everything going on with Wilson Fisk, who's in prison at this point, but still leading things from behind it. Again, every season had their incredible one shots. And then we have season 3, the way that it ended with Bullseye and Wilson Fisk and the I beat you and looking in his face and getting hauled off by the police. Like it was absolutely amazing with that. And I think they did not waste any of their characters. There were times when Karen would get a little bit like, all right, what are you doing here? But then she even got a redemption. She got her own story where we learn why she is the way she is, why the stuff from season 1 affected her so much, her family history. It was good stuff. And this was also during the time of full day drops when Netflix would be like, here's your show, go enjoy it. We'll see you in a couple of years. And so to just sit there, and I remember taking off work and watching it and just being absolutely like, I got to keep going. I got to watch every single episode. Like, I don't want to walk away from this.
Can I say one other thing? Shout out to Brant on his previous podcast, Fans Without Borders, where he would literally have to watch the full 10 episodes of all these Marvel Netflix shows, most of them. I think you might have ended before all of them, and like get out and podcast about it in a couple days. Like I was impressed with how much. Like my job was to catch up before the podcast episode would come out. That was basically my thing. So shout out to him for that. Old Marvel
Yeah.
Wise host.
As much as I love what I do, I could not imagine a 13 episode drop of 1 hour shows. Like it worked with I think Echo was the last one that really did all of the episodes in one day. Ironheart had to split up between theirs, but yeah, I don't think I could do a 13 episode drop and make that commitment and say, all
It's
right,
tough.
I'm gonna knock all of these out, and I'm gonna do it more than one time because I have to have my enjoyment viewing, then I have to have my review viewing, and get there. So shout outs to the gentlemen who've done it before me and had to get through those. But yeah, I it was super amazing, and it really set the tone for all of the Marvel Netflix going forward, which then you had people for years clamoring to have these characters back. Like, look, we get that the Netflix thing is over, but give us these characters back. So when we first saw Matt Murdock when in Spider-Man, and people popped for that, and then oh, it's coming back, it's getting its own show, and now oh, we're bringing John Bernthal back. Oh, we're bringing other people back. You're gonna have your Jessica Jones back, and all this speculation now. Like you can tell the impact that this show left.
Oh, 100%. And again, I'm excited for season 2. Can't wait for a couple weeks to go by here now and we can get that.
Yep. All right. So that is our top 10. Like I said, we had some that were the same and some that were just ones that I have fond memories of, but didn't crack my top 10 and vice versa. Some that, as we talk about it, it's the remembering like, oh man, that was a really, really good show. All right, so before we get into our news, where you're going to take our first ad break, we want to remind listeners that we do not control the ads. What goes on there, some of them may be a little bit loud, so I give you a chance to turn your volume down. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Okay, so in the news, we've had two small little news bits. First of which was I'm going to call it the final teaser trailer. It's not a full trailer, but it is a teaser entitled Cause Trouble for Daredevil. Again, coming out, we got just under 2 weeks left with that, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to play this trailer. For our audio listeners, there's not going to be any volume. Don't want to get any copyright strikes or anything like that. But we will look at it, talk about it, and here we go. So this up. So it starts with a good look at both Matt in his new black suit and Jessica when she says, "Hey, do you want to cause some trouble?" We get a nice up close shot of the Double D Daredevil suit, the black and red, with the red Double D clearly defined on there. Cut to a shot of Bullseye in a cafe, followed by him doing split between some incredible action shots of Bullseye and Daredevil, both just doing their acrobatics and both going through and showing like, all right, this is the Bullseye we remember, bouncing these things off and going through, and it's super cool. We get a look at some other new characters from this show. Wilson Fisk, more looks at Jessica Jones and her fighting style. I mean, she kicks a guy across a room. More shots of Wilson Fisk in what we presume is a celebrity boxing tournament where he just completely bludgeons a guy with his fist. We get some shots of Deborah Ann Woll's Karen Page getting in on the action. More of Bullseye and Daredevil. And just a reminder that, again, this show is streaming on March 24th. So
2 weeks.
Super excited about it. You know, they are showing that, yes, this is going to be very action heavy. There's going to be a lot of cool moments. I'm excited. Like the fights between Daredevil and Bullseye from season 3 of the Netflix show to the opening fight with last season and now this one, like they put on some good back and forths.
Oh yeah, and I'm excited to see this show. I tell you one thing though, there hasn't been much promotion. Like I haven't seen a whole lot, like a couple trailers, but I haven't seen as much discussion as I would hope. So I'm very interested to see how this show is going to be. Like is season 3 confirmed? Like they haven't filmed it yet, right?
Right.
Okay.
As far as I know, then it is just it's been confirmed, but I haven't seen any behind the scenes stuff. I haven't seen any grabs or anyone who's on location and getting pictures from a high window or anything else yet, but we're definitely going to be coming back for more. I do wonder if certain rumors are true. They are going to wait until after Spider-Man to do some filming as so that nothing gets spoiled character-wise.
Okay.
All right. Next up, there are rumors circulating right now that Spider-Man and Wolverine are going to have a team-up movie. Marvel Studios and Sony are reportedly interested in developing a Spider-Man and Wolverine team-up movie, potentially following the massive success of Deadpool and Wolverine. If it happens, it would mark the first live action crossover between the two iconic Marvel characters. It's currently unclear whether Hugh Jackman will return as Wolverine, but we all know he's here till he's 90, or which Spider Man could appear, whether it be Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, all possible thanks to the multiverse, or someone completely new. Nothing is confirmed yet, but the idea of Spider Man and Wolverine sharing a big screen has fans excited. Now, I know with the Sony and Marvel usage deal that if they are going to have a crossover, it has to have, the same characters. So I would assume that if they're going to do a crossover movie, then yes, it would be Hugh Jackman and Tom Holland, unless they absolutely just decide to pivot with the next movies and replace both those actors, which again, till he's 90. I don't see them doing that. What are your thoughts on this possible showing?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't see. I can see Hugh Jackman doing the Avengers movies, but I don't know how much more he's going to do after that. Like, eventually, they're going to have to find their own Wolverine if they're starting with the X-Men post uh, Avengers films in the MCU. So, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if that would confuse people. It's kind of part of the Batman problem that they have right now, or well, what people think they have right now. I would be excited. I would be the first one in there to see it. Obviously, like anyone would love to see Spider-Man and Wolverine in a film, but I am going to be a little apprehensive about that because of the Sony part of it. If Disney owned both characters, then I would agree with you. After the money they made with Deadpool and Wolverine, we'd be getting a Spider-Man and Wolverine team up for sure. But where Sony's involved, I'm still not sure. Like, it gives me a bit more pause to this rumor. I would love for it to happen. Like, cross my toes, my fingers, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a nice thought. I would wonder if the way that Wolverine was portrayed in the last movie, it would be hard to then scale that back for the family friendly neighborhood Spider Man.
Hmm. Agreed.
So again, it nothing is confirmed yet. It's speculation. It's a rumor that has been floating around by a lot of sources. So we shall see what they go from there. Again, if it I don't see it happening, but if it does, I'm going to be one of the first one butts in seats getting my 5 p.m. on a Thursday ticket to sit there and watch.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers and hope that this film actually comes out because it would be awesome.
Yeah. So but if any more news about this comes out, we'll keep you guys posted. If any more news as a whole comes out, again, we got less than 2 weeks before Daredevil, so this is a time when Marvel likes to go quiet, but who knows? Something can happen, and we will just keep you guys informed on any and everything that we get our hands on. So that is our news. I would say when it comes to we didn't get any feedback or questions this week, which is fine. He said if you have any questions that you want on the show, any feedback, anything else, reach out to us on Twitter, X, email the show, yeah, submit your questions, and we'll be more than happy to answer them, discuss them, go down the well, or tell you why you are completely off base if you just decide to come at us with something crazy. So, all right. And with that, let's head into our fact or fiction, which I'm going to pull up the results of 2 weeks ago. And these were Chris's fact or fictions. So, fact or fiction number 1: in Avengers Doomsday, the X-Men have successfully overcome a number of incursions already, but with heavy losses each time. 75% said fact, 25% say fiction. Mr. Hines, what say you?
Fact.
Yeah. All right. Fact or fiction number 2: in Spider-Man Brand New Day, the Hand will be working for Tombstone. 63% say fact, 37% say fiction.
Fiction.
And factor fiction number 3, in Spider-Man Brand New Day, Tombstone will survive and escape being captured at the end of the movie. 80% say fact and 20% say fiction.
I have to go with the numbers on this one and say fact as well.
Yeah. So, all right, sir. It is your time as the guest host. What do you got for us?
I want to say what an honor it is as the guest host to have to come up with the fact or fictions after 288 episodes. uh, by fact or fictions, there will not be another season of Miss Marvel.
Oh, I am unfortunately. I
I would
love
love for it.
Amon. I love Amon Villani, but
Same.
I am going to have to say that yeah, that's a fact. There will not be another season of Miss Marvel.
Spider-Man will have a speaking role in the next season of X-Men 97. He cameoed twice in the last one, but neither of them were speaking. 2 episodes he was in as Peter Parker and one as Spider-Man, but he's going to have a speaking role in the next season.
I am going to go fact on that. I think that they will use that, hopefully, maybe, possibly, as a bridge to bringing back Spider Man the Animated Series in its own continuation.
I hope so. I hope that's the case. And Moon Knight will not appear in Avengers Doomsday. Pretty sure he wasn't on the list of 8,000 chairs, but I didn't watch that. But I'm pretty sure you guys talked about that. I don't think he was one of those chairs. So I'm going to say he's not appearing in Avengers Doomsday.
Off the top of my list, I do not remember Oscar being on that list. So I will go fact on that because yeah, I don't see it happening. I love the character. I hope that we can get more of Moon Knight, but this may be something that they save for Secret Wars. Like I said, they ended his show with the ability to him going into another season. I don't think that second season is now going to happen,
No.
but I would at least like to see the character come back and make at least some sort of appearance.
Maybe Apocalypse will show up in Doomsday. Oh,
If that's the way that they do it to
that'd
get
be pretty
Oscar
funny.
Isaac's back, then I'll be for it. Just please don't have any billboards of him choking anybody. We don't want that smoke again.
Imagine if he actually showed up like the X-Men the animated series version of Apocalypse, like with the voice and the suit looks all badass. You're like, oh my god, redemption!
Yeah.
Like Gambit.
So those are our Factor Fictions. Those will be posted this Sunday for you all to vote on Twitter. So go make your voices heard. Again, you can also use that time to provide us with some feedback either on the Factor Fictions or on any questions, concerns in general. If you have a fact or fiction yourself you want to throw out there for us to use, by all means, go ahead and do so. Again, we are very close to 300 episodes, and sometimes it is really hard to come up with a fact or fiction and try and think, have I already used this before? So make your voices known. These will be posted Sunday to the Marvel Podcast Twitter. We are going to skip comic book club for this week. We are going to return next week with Age of Ultron issue 3 when Chris is back and we're back on schedule. I look forward to that. So on our way out, again, we like to thank our sponsor, Panelbound Comics. Use our code MarvelGUA at checkout. Follow the podcast on Twitter at Marvel A Podcast. You can follow me at The Phantom. Mr. Hines, tell the folks how they can follow you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Travis_156. You can drop me a line. We can chat pretty much anytime. I also host 2 shows on the podcast network here. DC Alliance, where we talk about all things DC, and the Animation Nation, where right now we're focusing on the Batman from 2004.
Another show with a great theme.
Yes, and I didn't. There's some of that I didn't remember or didn't watch, and I'm pleasantly surprised. So,
So yeah, I am also here on another show on the GeekVerse network. I am part of our wrestling show, The Gimmick. We have a playthrough of WWE 2K26. We just had one this past weekend where I wiped the floor with Mr. Snell and Mr. S. Bubs for our upcoming My GM mode. So I get first pick with that. I'm super excited about that. So we will have our inaugural episode of this season of My GM for WWE 2K26 coming up this Saturday. You can email the show any questions that you may have at Marvel Alliance Podcast at gmail.com. You can follow the Geek Ultimate Alliance on Twitter at GUA Network. Feel free to tweet, email if you want to provide feedback or ask questions for us to answer on the show. Remember to rate, review us on whatever podcast platform that you listen to, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spider-Man, wherever you get your podcast from. And as Stan the Man would say, Excelsior, true believers.
see everyone.
All right. So we do have a post credits, and this is an easy one, super easy for you. We did, Chris and I did our ranking of, we took all the Marvel properties from the Multiverse saga and dwindle it down to our top 10 to watch before Doomsday. What I'm asking is a whole lot simpler. What are your three most watched projects before Avengers Doomsday? This could be anywhere on the MCU timeline.
Ooh.
Just your three projects that you think, all right, you need to go ahead and watch this before Doomsday.
I don't even know on where to begin there. Things like big events. I don't. Avengers 1. And Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Maybe that's the three. I have a thing. I'm a little concerned about Avengers Doomsday. Uh, I'm worried that it's going to be a giant cameo fest filled with cameos. I'm getting very big Crisis on Infinite Earth vibes from DCCW, which I absolutely loathe it, and I was so excited for. So, like, I got a feeling some of these cameos aren't going to be very long, and that was one thing that riled at me was like, why are you bringing people in to get rid of them in 2 or 3 minutes? Like, shouldn't they be essential to the story instead of being some random? Oh, I played Robin Batman 66 60 years ago, and I'm going to look up to the sky and say, oh, gee willikers, as the Earth implodes, like that. That they did nothing for the story, and that's basically what that cameo fest was. And that's why I'm a little worried. I was going to send this question into you guys to discuss. Like, are you worried at all that this could be like some of the cameos could take away from the overall story or not contribute to the story at all? Just be cameos for being like, hey, look at this person, look at that person.
Lewis Pullman, who plays Bob from, also known as the Sentry from Thunderbolts, said that this will not be a cameo fest. I absolutely do not believe him.
I
I
was going
feel
to
like
say people who are part of the cameo fest will definitely say it's not a cameo fest.
I do get what you're saying. I think the analogy of the Crisis on Infinite Earth is an excellent analogy where yes, this could be the whole, you played this thing at one time, they will get the girl who was the waitress from the first Avengers back just to be the callback of up, remember her? Like random things like that. I, as
Chris,
much as I,
Chris Chris Evans will come back for 3 minutes, like Tom
yeah,
Welling came back for 3 minutes, being like, "Oh, what? Oh, you don't even have powers now? Oh, great. Okay, yeah. Thank you guys. Okay, bye. Thanks for showing
yeah,
up and throwing a rock and running away."
as much as I love a good cameo or Easter egg, I don't want it to be so heavy that I have to rewatch this movie 3 or 4 times so I can try and spot every little detail that they put in there just for nostalgia's sake.
Also, like some people might say, like Loki might be pivotal to watch for this, like just other things. I'm just saying, if you've not watched anything at all, I would probably rewatch the Avengers films to get me ready for the next Avengers film.
Yeah, I think that's a
And
good shout.
and I left out Ultron because I still enjoy the film, but I think if I'm picking out of the four, that one's going to fall if you only get three.
I can agree that from a storytelling and for what matters for what's coming up, that Age of Ultron is probably the weaker of the Avengers movies in that, right? So yeah, no, I definitely uh, get you on that one. So that that's a good shout. Again, we got the Avengers, and we've got
Avengers,
Endgame.
Infinity War, and Endgame. And I
Yeah,
want to do stuff like Loki, or you could even say like Fantastic Four, the final uh, post-credit scene is very pivotal to know what's going on. But that's not going to be why I would recommend to watch Fantastic Four right now, because nothing else would apply to tell you what's going to happen in Doomsday.
yeah. So all right, listeners, go watch those. Go back, watch what was on our list of 10 multiverse saga
Do
projects
that
to
one instead.
watch.
Do that one instead. Watch, go with theirs. Yeah,
You know, just do an entire MCU rewatch.
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm
That
doing.
way, you are fully in tune to everything. You've got some time. It's not like we've got any good trailers out that we know what's going to be in the movie. So you got some time. So go ahead, watch that again. We are hoping that next week we might have some information on new Spider-Man. We're on our march towards season 2 of Daredevil, Born Again, and I look forward to seeing and talking with you all later.
See you, everyone.
Bye.